Hello! We are so excited about the new and improved version of Facilitator Cards that we wanted to take a moment to tell you about all of the improvements so that you can learn more about the cards, and if you have one of our earlier decks, you can learn about our changes and whether you want to upgrade or stick to your classic deck. So Facilitator Cards, no matter which deck you have, are a set of facilitation processes that work really well whether you're leading meetings, trainings, you're a classroom teacher, or you just are a host of conversations more broadly. If you are in charge of helping people connect, brainstorm, have clarifying conversations, make decisions, learn about things in an interactive way, these cards can be an incredibly powerful and useful tool. The first versions of Facilitator Cards came out in fall 2020, and the box looks like this. And the latest version of Facilitator Cards looks like this. If you have black symbols at the top of your box, you have the latest version of the cards. So the first big change that we made to the cards, other than the box design, was the card design. So the old cards have symbols along the top of the card that indicate group size, focus area, and materials needed. We replaced those symbols and moved them to the bottom of the card. So we still have all of that information. We still have the focus area, the group size, and the materials needed. But we also added, drum roll please, time. So one of the biggest pieces of feedback is people wanted to know what is the average amount of time you need to facilitate that process, and that information is now on the cards, and that information was not on the first and early decks of Facilitator Cards. Each card also got its own URL. So at the very bottom of the card, there is a tiny little website address. And if you go to that, you will see step-by-step numbered instructions for the card, as well as an example and what a prompt might sound like for each card. So that's really cool. In the future, this card page will also be enhanced with a ton of additional information like when and how to use the card, facilitation insights on why this card works, and a video from me explaining how I use it, what instructions might sound like, and essentially pro tips for facilitating the card. So coming soon, an even more exciting webpage. There is also an overview card, which takes you to a custom website that helps you get started with the cards. And there are 3 blank cards that you can use for notes, for dividers, for little reminders in your deck. I like to encourage people to split their cards into cards you know and cards you don't. And this can be a really nice little way to create a divider between those 2 mini decks. So those are the new big things, but there are a lot of tweaks and upgrades that we also made. So each card got a rewrite of the directions or the explanation for that process. We've been using these cards for 4 years now, and the process is for over a decade. But so we know how to make it more specific and more clear for facilitators to understand what each process looks like. So along with that, we also upgraded or tweaked a little bit the category names for the cards. So the blue cards are now the connect cards, green cards are brainstorm, yellow are clarify, and the red cards are the decide cards. So a few cards in the deck got new titles that we thought would be more descriptive and accurate to what that process was. So silent reflection became journal journeys, airport signs became statement signs, spectrum questions became spectrum responses, and what's the MVP became minimal viable product. Subcommittees also became conversation pods. So we'll just leave those also detailed below, but just know a couple of them got changed to that. Got upgraded names. We also substituted in a few new processes, and we removed some of the underused processes in the decks. So the new cards are draw it out, passing notes, stenographer, categorization, and comments and critiques. So just there's a couple new ones to look forward to if you get the new deck. The new cards we think are easier to use with those kind of detailed explanations of all the different aspects and categorizations, and with the new and improved descriptions. They are still the same material, which makes them waterproof, it makes them durable, and it makes them wet erase friendly. And there's even more space on the front of or on the back depending on your preference, of the cards to write your notes compared to the earlier decks. But they both have that same material that allows them to be wet erase compatible, so you can use a overhead projector marker on the card and then leave your notes there and then just wipe it off with water when you are done. We're so excited about these new cards. We think you're going to love them, and we think they're going to make it even easier to plan, to pivot, and to get oriented to new processes. So we really appreciate you checking out this little video and an overview of all of the exciting changes that we have made. That's going to be it for this moment. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at hello@facilitator.cards. And until next time, happy facilitating.